Hello again, Vinyl Community. Bill here, and I'm going to do a fourth episode of Random Records and Music Ephemera. So it's not quite a whack-a-mole, and yeah, there's maybe some great artists and three fantastic groups in this episode. But I want to start off with a record that I don't see shown on the vinyl community very often. But this is one of my very favorite albums. It is by, the big rocker himself, the Killer, and it's Jerry Lee Lewis, the London Sessions. And interesting packaging, this, the way it slips out of the sort of mirror image of Jerry Lee. And if I can show you the back, there are some fantastic guest artists on this, including Peter Frampton, Rory Gallagher, Kenny Jones from The Small Faces and The Who, and Klaus Voormann. And who else have we got? We've got Albert Lee and Alvin Lee. This has got some great songs on it. This is a very well worn copy. And this bit of the inner sleeve folds up with details of the track listings. And then on the back, you've got all the artists that play on each of the tracks. I don't know if you can read that. Johnny B. Good, High School Confidential, whole lot of shaking going on. And there's a rock and roll medley as well. And I don't know if you can see the photographs. You can see top center is Rory Gallagher, and yeah, lots of photos of Jerry Lee in his stripy polo shirt. But Chaz Hodges from Chaz and Dave plays bass, and yeah, the rock and roll medley, which consists of Good Golly Miss Molly, Long Tall Sally, Jenny Jenny, Tutti Frutti, and a whole lot of shaking going on, has got Jerry Lee Lewis, obviously, on piano and vocal, Klaus Voormann on bass, Albert Lee on acoustic guitar, Mickey Jones on guitar, Alvin Lee on guitar, and yeah, Kenny Jones and Mick Kelly on drums. So this was all recorded in London in 1973. And there's even at the bottom here, the address for Jerry Lee Lewis's fan club. But yeah, so having established that Jerry Lee Lewis was somebody that I needed to know his music, and I needed to get hold of copies of What I Say and Great Balls of Fire, I found this particular record at the Co-op. And I'm not sure if it's got Great Balls of Fire. It's got High School Confidential, but and it's got Bad Moon Rising as well. Plus one of my all-time favorites, Trouble in Mind and Johnny B. Good. So I absolutely love this album, and I would urge you to check it out. I think some of the tracks, Jerry Lee plays electric piano rather than just an upright honky-tonk piano, but great double album. And then I'm going to another great double album with pretty graphics. I think the cover art is a bit wanting, but yeah, Once Upon a Time, and it's the Four Seasons story. But the music on here is great because we've got Sherry, Big Girls Don't Cry, Walk Like a Man, Stay. We've got Don't Think Twice, Four Seasons doing Bob Dylan, and then Ragdoll and Silence is Golden and Let's Hang On. But the one that's interesting from this collection, and it's a precursor to Roller Mania in the 70s, and the guys with the half-mast trousers with tartan scarves, etc. But the Four Seasons did a version of Bye Bye Baby, Baby Goodbye. And I was checking to see if it was the same song as the Bay City Rollers did, and my streaming service confirmed it was the same song. But I don't know if this opens the way for a court case. The writing credits on here are for Bob Crew and B. Gaudio. But when I looked up the writing credits for the Bay City Rollers version, I got two different names. So I don't know if somebody's claiming authorship, and they shouldn't be. But this is one that I keep thinking, should I keep it in my collection? But there's some great songs on here. Now, I'm going to show some ephemera. And in 2017, as part of a 60th birthday treat, my wife and I had a trip down to Liverpool, and we visited the houses of John Lennon's Aunt Mimi and also Paul McCartney's childhood home, 20 Forthland Road. And we went on a sort of coach trip with the National Trust, and with some very good guides. The only downside was they didn't want us taking photographs inside these properties, so we had to give up our mobile phones for the duration of the visit, so that we didn't take any photographs that were copyright of Mike McCartney. But yeah, some really nice photos inside here, and Paul doing the washing, and Paul and John at the cooker in Forthland Road. And yeah, there was a piano inside the lounge, and one of the guys on the trip was able to play Hey Jude on it, so my wife was singing along to Hey Jude. And then the photo of Mendips on Menlove Avenue, and you can see from the illustration here there's a blue plaque. There isn't a blue plaque on Forthland Road because Paul McCartney is still alive. We're very pleased to hear that. And there's a photo of John Lennon outside Aunt Mimi's house. You didn't get in through the front door of Mendips because Aunt Mimi would just allow you in the back door. You had to be somebody very important to come through the front door. So that's two guidebooks from the National Trust. I also went to see the Beatles story down by the docks, and yeah, seats from Shea Stadium, seats from Shea Stadium, the Yellow Submarine, and I think there was also, yeah, the white piano that John Lennon composed Imagine on. So that's the Beatles. So I thought I'd take opportunity to show this Beatles Anthology 1. Great gatefold, or triple gatefold, and as well as having Free as a Bird as the opening track, there's speeches by Paul McCartney, and we've got some words by John Lennon, and in here we've got Ain't She Sweet and My Bonnie, the songs that they recorded over in Hamburg. And then we get all the way through to 8 Days a Week and All My Loving, You Can't Do That, and I Love Her. I was reading Paul McCartney's lyrics book, and he explains And I Love Her was a love song to Jane Asher, and he used to live in an upper room in the garret of the Asher's house in London, because the place that Brian Epstein had found for them didn't have any pictures on the wall, so it was a bit soulless, said Paul McCartney. And there's One After 909 and I'll Get You. I saw her standing there. Really good introduction to the Beatles. Of course, there are 3 anthologies. And music ephemera. How about the Financial Times? And this is from December, 24th December 2015. And I was very annoyed when I saw this, because it said, let it be. Fans of the Beatles gifted all 13 studio albums on streaming sites. About a week before this, I decided that I needed to get onto my phone some of the Beatles tracks that I didn't have from my CD collection. So I used Apple Music to buy about 10 or 12 tracks that I didn't have from the Beatles catalogue that I thought was worth having on my mobile phone to listen to. And then 7 days later, I read in the Financial Times that Spotify and Apple Music, etc., are going to feature the Beatles. So just bad timing for an Aberdonian. Right, some more ephemera. And this is a gift from my daughter. This is the Rolling Stones book number 22. And you can see it's 1 and 9pence. Some nice photo of Mick and the faces of Brian. And then we have Charlie and Keith, a letters page about the new single. Dear Stones, bought your new single. It's fantastic. 19th Nervous Breakdown. It deserved to reach #1. Please could you print the words in the mag so that I get the true message. And an article, what I would like the Stones to do, by Janet Colhep. And she says, a new single every 4 months. Let's keep them in the chart, especially in the States where so many stations only play the top 40. A new album every 4 months. And one TV appearance every month. So that's the Rolling Stones book. Now, copies of these were included in the exhibition. And this is the catalogue from it. Some really nice photographs of the band. This is one of the early photos of the Stones at Edith Grove. These are the two records that Mick Jagger was carrying on the train when Keith bumped into him. I think he said he was tempted to mug him just to get these. And then there's extracts, I think, from Keith Richards' diary. So that's the catalogue from Exhibitionism. Real tongue twister, that one. And then I don't know if you were aware that the post office issued some, or the Royal Mail issued some stamps. And one of the options was this gift set. And if I open it up, you've got access all areas, certificate of authenticity, and you've got the autographs of Mick Jagger and Ron Wood, etc. And then inside the fancy case, you get the book of stamps. Voodoo Lounge, and you can take these stamps out and use them on your letters. But if you did that, the value of the pack would be lost. So to link with the Rolling Stones, got two sets to show you. First one is the Rolling Stones, The Great Years. And I don't know if you can see it, the bottom there, it says Reader's Digest and Decca. And you can maybe see some of the tracks there. So it's a 4-record set covering Come On, Not Fade Away, I'm a King Bee, Can I Get a Witness, Little Red Rooster. So all the covers from the first 2 or 3 albums, and then move on to the Jagger and Richards compositions. Some quite nice sleeve notes and photos. Record 3, with a lot of their big hits in there. And the 4th record takes us all the way up to Midnight Rambler, Gimme Shelter, Love in Vain, Let It Bleed, and You Can't Always Get What You Want. And on the A side of record 4, you've got Jumping Jack Flash, Honky Tonk Woman, Sympathy for the Devil, Factory Girl, and Dear Doctor. So a really good collection, that. So the Reader's Digest set is one that I don't see very often on the vinyl community videos. And then I guess if you have that collection, the complementary collection to it is Honk. And this covers from the early 70s right up to the Blue and Lonesome album. So we've got, yeah, the really nice gatefold or triple gatefold, is that the term? It's really good photographs of the members of the band. And we've got Start Me Up, Brown Sugar, Tumbling Dice, Wild Horses, It's Only Rock and Roll. We've got Rock in a Hard Place, Mixed Emotions, Riding on Down, Harlem Shuffle, Rough Justice, Respectable, Dancing with Mr. D, Emotional Rescue, Waiting for a Friend, and Rain Fall Down. That's one of my favorites. Really good album track, that. So that's it for this edition of Random Records and Music Ephemera. Take care. Bye.